Hello and welcome to my podcast, Conversations with Cornelius, where I, Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan, discuss, chat and hypothesize on all things from fatherhood, marriage, comedy and everything else in between. From time to time, there will be special guests, but mostly it's going to be me and some regular contributors, including my main squeeze, Noelle Patricia O'Sullivan, aka the wife. So sit back, relax and enjoy Conversations with Cornelius. Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Conversations with Cornelius. I'm your host, Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan. It is what is it?
Oh Jesus, sorry, it is 10 to 11.
10 to 11 on the 20th? No, it's not the 20th, it's the 18th. It's the 18th.
You're correct.
Yeah. Because Saturday is 4:20.
4:20. What's 4:20 again?
4:20 is the day around the globe where people celebrate and indulge in the practice of consuming cannabis, aka marijuana. It's 4:20. It's a globally recognized day for the recognition of the beautiful plant that is cannabis that keeps my fucking mind at ease. And I'm trying to I don't know am I trying to give it. I don't think I'm trying to give it up. I think I just need to fucking, like, some days I think I need to give up cannabis, other days I'm like, what, if I'd no cannabis I wouldn't be here. That kind of way.
Yeah.
Welcome to the podcast.
You have a love-hate relationship with it, I think.
I love it and I hate that people don't understand it.
Right.
That's my love.
Did you throw in my coffee?
I
Double
didn't.
espresso that I made you?
I put it into this cup and I added water and milk because it was too strong.
Oh, you made it an Americano.
Americano.
A double shot Americano, please.
Mm-hmm. We're in the good room in our house today, guys. It is Thursday. Kids are gone to school. I'm in Bray, County Wicklow tonight doing my show, A Bird in the Hand. Looking forward to that. Noelle is lucky to be with us at all in any way, shape or form. Do you want to tell the listeners why you're lucky to be here? How are the legs?
Oh, I've got a quad injury. No. I feel like a proper athlete now with my quad injuries. No.
Is that because you've got athlete's foot?
Ooh, that's you.
That's actually jockrat, okay? That's,
both.
That's
it's
cock
the same
foot.
thing. Cock foot. Cock in your foot or foot in your cock?
I got a cock in my foot. Foot cock. We should invent a cream for foot cock.
That would sell. Why am I? No, my legs are sore because I had GA training. I had training last night. I just training. So
you're 40. You're after starting your GA career in earnest. You used to play Gaelic football in your youth, but let's call a spade now. Did you play a lot of Gaelic football?
No, and I was in goals because I was too fat and couldn't run.
Okay.
So I didn't.
Is fat a bad word?
I'm trying not to make it a bad word actually, because Harvey he was sucking in his stomach this morning and putting it out and going thin, skinny, fat, and I was like, yeah, cool.
What's it?
So I shouldn't have said. So I should have said I was too unfit, because you can be fat and fit.
Mm-hmm. I'm fat and fit.
Yeah.
I'm now going to say I'm fit. I am fit. I ran 5k yesterday.
Yeah.
I ran 3k yesterday. I ran 5k the day before that. I'm going to do 7k tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I'm fit, but I'm fat.
Yeah. So you can be fat and fit. Yeah. That's the thing. So when I was a kid, I was too unfit to be any good at GA.
Yeah.
Really. And so last night was our first match, like training session, but it was a match. And it was really good, and it was really interesting to see I'd already seen that the running has definitely helped for the skills training, just because I'm concentrating on the skills and not the running part of the drills, because I just remember before, like anything, the running part would have been the taking a lot of my energy that I wouldn't have concentrated on the actual skill part.
And you're tidy. You're like, anytime we've ever, even hurling, like you're from Kerry people don't play hurling, like, but anytime you picked up a hurley, you've got good eye.
I have good hand-eye coordination. I know that. Yeah. And I can, when we used to do PE and you do badminton, or you pick up and everyone was learning a new PE thing, I was very good at that. But anything that was needed longevity to play a match, to do anything. I never was able to do it. So we'll say I played GA up to 12. Like, sure, that's nothing. That's under 8. Like, you know, that's only... But, and then you would have done PE in secondary school, and that's where I meant, like, the badminton, anything like that.
Do girls hate PE in general?
I didn't hate it, but there are lots of girls who were... It came up, actually, somebody mentioned last night about the amount of kids that drop GA and stuff, girls that drop it at 12, hitting puberty and all of that. Like, and there is definitely something behind it as to why you don't enjoy it as much when you get into that age, like when you hit puberty. But I think it could be something to do with all this stuff that I'm learning about your phases. And like, if you're 14 and you were brilliant at training last week, and now this week you're fucking shit, isn't that just going to get really frustrating?
Yeah.
And then next week you got your yokes and you don't really want to train that
That's
hard.
what I was going to say.
Like,
is like, so when boys play hurling and football, there's no real differentiation when you... In fact, actually, you get better when you're 13, 14, 15, 16,
you start
17.
to build, and it's exciting.
Because you're getting stronger and you're getting fitter, and you know, you've got more testosterone coming into your body, you're more aggressive, and which
competition
is good. And the
comes in. Yes, yeah.
Whereas with yours, your boobies come out.
So then you're trying to figure out how to play with them.
With your boobs.
Yeah,
like...
around.
I'm not being funny now, actually.
Not. This is the truth. Like,
and
this is
the truth, exactly. And sometimes we, like, people go, how dare you? You're a man. How dare you refer to a woman? You know, like, but like, your boobs are big, right? And you're running around. So that's
they're new.
Hard. And they're new. And you could be a bit embarrassed by
yes,
them.
yeah. Or you, like a lot of people I think a lot of women, girls who are in sports, will say that they hated their boobs at the start.
Really?
Because, like,
I can say I've always been a fan.
But like, it's a sports bra, and you might have only ever had one bra, and you wouldn't know. Your mother you wouldn't know that you needed another bra, that wouldn't have seen the difference in you at training, and suddenly you might be at a football. I actually remember. Oh my God, I forgot all about this. It was Bernard said it to mother, Noelle needs a bra for football training.
What? Shout out to Bernard.
Under probably 11 or something.
Had you titties when you were 11?
Yeah, they'd start the buds, like. So Bernard said to mother, Noelle needs a bra for training.
I like buds.
Do you know? So like, that's how it creeps up on the girl, it creeps up on the mother. Then it's sort of, Jesus, we must get the bra. And like, that's why the GA for mothers, what's really great about it, or what I feel is great about it, and how I'm feeling about it, is that it's very freeing to go and turn to someone and say, Jesus, I think I could wet myself now if I have to run too far here now.
Yeah.
Jesus,
you're at the other end of it, you see.
You're at the stage of not caring, just enjoying it.
So let's just go back a small bit, right? So it's mothers and others, is it? Is that what it's called? What's the others?
Anyone who's older that doesn't have kids.
Can I rock up?
Mothers.
I'm another.
Or do you identify as a woman though?
No, I don't, but I'm another.
No.
I'm not a man. I'm not a woman. Women and... no, I'm only messing. Being facetious. But like, what I was saying was, it's mothers and others. So generally, and I asked you this last night, like the youngest is early 30s.
Yeah.
And the oldest, there's people in their 50s.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's 30 of them in Killavullen, all training on Wednesday nights. And you came home last night, I swear to God. We'll get back now to the original thing, but I just want to say, she came home last night, the face was red from exertion.
Yeah.
The pants was destroyed with muck and shit. The hands were all
dirty.
You had competed in a exceptionally tough GA training session.
Yeah.
Which I just think that's great. Gaelic football is a part of our culture. Our kids,
and we love it. And I do like GA.
We fucking love it. We love it. And or like Harvey's playing hurling at the moment. Hunter's starting next year. I'm the only one who's not playing GA.
Yeah.
You know, I'm doing sketches about it, all right. Like, but I can't. I'd love to. I'm 47 now, though. If I kicked the ball, my knee could actually come out through my fucking.
Well,
leg.
I do notice that's the kicking. So I was in goals for the first match, and
I wonder, could you invent? People would probably kill me now for this, like, but like it is actually the kicking for me. Like I've got a dodgy enough knee now, and it's grand now, but I'm looking after it now, right? But I know if I was repetitively kicking an O'Neill's football quite hard, like you have to put, force power in it. And we'll get onto that in a minute, because I know we're going to get into the training in depth, even though
we're not.
I just wanted to. I was very proud about one particular thing, but like, could you invent a game with just hand passing for men?
So I suppose it is the Aussie rules is quite more hand and.
No, they kick it.
They kick a lot, do they?
They kick. Yeah, they kick for scores. There's a lot of kicking in Aussie rules. There is netball, I suppose. I don't know. But anyway. Maybe I'll invent it.
Do bet.
Men and others.
That's called the bees.
We'll just call it, instead of men and others, we'll just call it mothers. Men, others.
Oh yeah, mothers. That's mothers.
All right, and mothers and men can be in it. So we'll all do it.
A joint.
We'll imagine it.
What's the mixed team? Oh, that would be some laugh, wouldn't it?
That'd be hilarious. It'd be fucking hilarious. But then you'd have lads then trying to show off, fucking taking it a bit too seriously. I think what you're doing is amazing. You meet on a Wednesday, you train, you had your first practice match yesterday.
Yeah.
Tell people about the practice match. Come on, tell them.
So first half we were the full pitch, and then I'd say Brian is trainer, and he said, Jesus, we'll have to put half these for a minute, or we'll never get a full match out of them.
Well, a full pitch is a big distance now, for people, and it was only your third training session back as well, so it's like,
Now, we've discovered as well, some of the girls aren't long past retirement of playing ladies football, so there's some elite athletes, then there's a gang of us.
But isn't it good to have the mix? Because if you are going to be playing matches, there's no point in playing unless you want to win. You've got to win. I'd
say he was figuring out last night, right? There's the crowd that are going to stay on for the full match, and there's the crowd that are going to be subbing in and out.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's perfect.
But isn't that great?
That's based on your fitness as well.
But I'm even thinking, if I was doing something like that now, and if I wasn't starting, but if I knew I was going to get, go on in there for 5 minutes, and when you're fucked, come off.
And that's what it's about. And there's so much open to, fuck it, I'm fucked. I have to go. Put me down. Someone come on.
Yeah.
That. But everyone is pushing themselves. That was the thing last night. Everyone was pushing. And down to the people that have never ever played or never held the ball at all, and that were, really learning from the basics. But you'd be so proud of them as well for catching or anything But I found the bit at the first kick out, I think I kicked it off my shin, the nerves.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right.
Over excitement. And then, but we'll say the running, at the start, we were up one side of the pitch, doing the warm up, and then I was going in goals at the other side of the pitch, and before I'd have had to walk down that, and it was still really slow. I still trotted on down, but I still ran down. And then. For the first, when we were doing the full pitch, he was saying, go out a good bit, go on a way out, go out until I stop you, go out until I tell you to stop. And he never told me to stop, so I kept going. And he was like, huh? I said, but you never told me to stop. And he goes, fuck it, I didn't.
She's coachable. Listen, if you're watching, his name Brian, is it? Brian. If you're watching now, Brian, she'll do what she's told. She's coachable. Start her in goals, and if she's fucking after leaving in 2 or 3 goals, bring her out the field. She'll do what you say. If there's a fucking woman out there who's fucking causing wreck, put Noel on her, tell her to decapitate her. She'll do it. She'll do it for the club. Will you? Would you decapitate someone for the club?
Well, it cost there was shoulders.
She's shouldered them anyway. So you went in goals for the first game, but you had 2 games, and then you trotted out for the second game then? Did you? Were you asked to go out, or did you say, I'm going to go out?
I said, I'll go out.
So
I said, well, actually, and at the same time, he said, we'll rotate goals.
So just for the listeners in America, right, Gaelic football is it's a field sport, right? And it's 15 aside.
Is it 15?
It's 15 aside, yeah. And it's our national Gaelic football. It's one of our national sports. We've got 4 national sports. We've got hurling, Gaelic football, camogie, ladies football. We actually have 5. Rounders is another. And
Handball?
Handball 6. We've.
But do you count ladies football and football as 2 separate entities?
So it is definitely our national sport, but they aren't under the umbrella of GAA. But I think that's changing now.
Back,
Well, it never was under it.
All right.
But it should be under the umbrella of the GAA.
It should.
Yeah, it should totally. So you moved out anyway. So what I was saying is, so they played 2 games, and the first game Noelle was in goals, and then in the second game she came from the goalkeeper, the goaltender, just in case you're American here and I'm talking to, because there's a good few American listeners.
All right.
She was in goals, and then that game was over, and they saw something in her, and they said, go up midfield.
No. That's not how the midfield came about at all. Sorry, that's what I know. You have.
They were down 2
I feel
points.
like I've built myself up too much for you, because you have like. What's the kind of when you...
Well, I just have fierce
glorified it. You've glorified it.
Babe, if our 2 boys don't play for Cork after the fucking what you said to me yesterday, I'll tell you what. I don't know.
No,
is there any justice in the world?
What happened was...
And Harvey's got autism. Like, I mean, it's going to be very hard for him to play for Cork, but with your genes, he's going to do it.
No. So we came back onto the pitch, and it was like, find a mark, like pretty much mark someone in the other colour.
So
right?
you
the bib.
You took up someone.
I found a girl was standing beside me.
Right, was she good?
She's brilliant.
She was brilliant.
And she was.
They put her on one of the best players on the other team. Go on.
And I said, what position? Because she was obviously outfield.
Yeah.
I said, what position are we in? And she said, midfield. I said, what?
And you marked her.
I said, I've never
straight to midfield.
I've never fucking played midfield in my life. I'll never manage midfield.
So the odds were down. The odds were against you. You were marking, probably one of the greatest footballers ever to play the game, midfield. You've just come from goals.
She was very good. And she
was brilliant.
Like a nipper. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, she's got over there now.
How old was she?
She's younger than me.
So
not that much younger.
Will we say 25?
Go for the dramatising.
She was in her late 20s. She was in her prime. And you're past your prime. Technically. But how did it go?
Well, I managed to score a few points.
How many points did you get?
3, I think.
3 points, guys, from midfield.
But I was probably in front of the goal. Like, I don't know how far out I was.
You don't score them from behind the goal, girl. You don't fucking kick them from behind the goal and they go around and over the bar.
I think it was 3. Maybe it was 2. I don't know. You're making me nervous now.
Will we say 1-5 from play?
1-5 from play.
No, but I'm being facetious. You went outfield and you had...
And I played and I was able to play.
And you scored,
now,
like...
as I said, I hadn't ran for the first game. So I was definitely fresher.
Yes.
I had fresh legs, like.
Yes.
So I was able to run and meet the ball and, like, see where my team was to try and help them to get the ball.
Yeah.
Do you know, that kind of way? Like, that definitely plays a part, like.
Definitely, you'd be a little bit rested. But at the same time, you still have to run around. You still have to block and defend and catch and kick. And the hardest part of any team sport, the hardest part of any sport...
Knowing all the names of the players.
Knowing names of the players. Marianne, I'm over here! Julia! Deirdre, pass it in, you fucking bitch!
I'm here!
Your bra's falling off!
No, it was a case of Mary or Teresa. Oh, like there was 2 girls marking each other, and I don't know, was I calling Mary or there were
Mary, Teresa,
2 women.
Mary, Teresa.
And then you're calling them girls, and they're full on women. Like there's no girls, like it's all women.
Yeah.
And you're like,
but you can't go woman.
Yeah.
Kick the ball over here.
No, but it's like, well, last week it was like woman in the hat. Lady in the hat, I said.
Lady in the hat.
We're in line with the lady in the hat there.
Ladies
like,
want lunch.
oh Jesus! I really think though we need the name tags, the little.
You'll get it in another 2 or 3 sessions. But I want to get back to this epic game, right, where you were put in midfield against this 27-year-old intercounty player, and you scored 3 points from play. What did it feel like to put the ball over the bar? What did it feel like? Genuinely.
Oh, it was good. It was a good laugh. And as I said, like that one time I did one of the scores, I was like,
oh, tell the story. This is hilarious.
I scored a point. And I just went afterwards. I just said, come on, lads. Like totally taking the piss. Like, so funny.
Come on, the fuck.
Yeah. I said, come on, the fuck, lads.
Were they all laughing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake, that's brilliant.
It was even, your man was laughing. The ref was, or the coach. Laughing too.
But
so
just getting,
so funny.
But
that's the thing, that's the laugh that's in it as well. Like,
yeah.
You're, after the thing, you've had a great workout with a great laugh all at once, like. And
what a community, though. Honest to God, like, we live in such a great place because, like, this is just a concept that's happening across Ireland now, where there's mothers and others, women in their, 30s and up. But most, would I be right in saying now, and I don't know, and I'm being facetious and I'm taking the piss, it's
30s
all
and 40s.
30s and 40s, and there's one or two 50s.
Yeah, there's going to be outliers on either side, but it's...
And you're all coming together in the parish, and on a Wednesday night, 30 of you down there. I just think it's so inspirational.
Yeah.
And I think it's like, you've a match, they've a fucking match. There's a festival in Glanworth, right, in a couple of weeks' time, the May Bank Holiday weekend. I'm actually doing a gig there, right?
Evening, same day.
They booked me to do a gig in January, and I was humming and hawing whether I'd do it or not, because it's literally over the road, and I'm like, it's a bit close to home, and I don't really like doing gigs very close to home. But anyway, long story short, I'm doing it, and this bitch here now is after fucking up, like, literally taking all the glory off me.
Yeah,
because she's
I'm
going
totally
to be playing
you.
Because they have a match on the same day, and she's playing midfield.
Blitz, there's a blitz on, like as part of the festival. The laugh.
You'll have the Killavullen jersey on you. It's going to be so cool. Like, it's going to be so cool. I can't wait. But what I'm really looking forward to on that day is going to the blitz with Harvey and Hunter.
Yeah.
And watching you.
Yeah.
Play football.
But you know what? Even whatever about the lads seeing me, it's the girls seeing the older women, their mothers playing.
That's exactly
at football.
it, yeah.
Like there's a woman there now, and she's been an incredible coach. She's coached all ages of women's football in Killavullen, and she's coached, I was just talking to her briefly, she's coached UCC, and I don't know, she'd say Cork Miners or something like that.
Wow.
So she was like, can coach anyone to solo, but has never played a match solo. She never played GAA.
Wow.
But she obviously followed her kids up. It'd be like followed her kids up, training them the whole way up, and then followed.
And you could see that. You could see how that could happen.
Yeah.
Like,
You follow the underage teams, and then
you can do these coaching classes now as well. When you're in the community and you're getting involved with the team, you have to do the coaching courses so that you know what you're talking about.
I do think it's sad, the division between ladies football and men's football.
But it is definitely, the gap is closing, babe.
Yeah.
Because when I was growing up, right, there was no real, like, my club was Ballyclaw. I played against Killavullen, I played against Mallow, I played against Clyde, I played against Kilshannig, Budfont, Doneraile, Newtown, like literally all North Cork. And there was, when I was under 12, the girls were allowed to play with the boys. And there was two girls on my team under 12, Katrina O'Connell and Mag Fitz. And Mag Fitz, and they were both very good, right? And they were both on the team. And then when we got to under 14, they could still play, but you could see that they were physically developing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they were probably embarrassed, like, they would have been embarrassed. And I remember marking a girl at one stage. I was a corner forward, and there was a girl marking, and I didn't want to shoulder her or anything,
Yeah.
But that was the only option that they had
for playing.
That was the only option that they had, as far as I was aware, unless you were at a really big club,
or unless you were, unless it was
or Clyde Rovers is our friend Ruby, right? She's from Kilshannig. They had a ladies football team, so all around North Cork, if you were a woman, you went to Clyde to play football. That's
like South Kerry.
Yeah.
In Kerry even now, if you want to play, I don't think the local teams have. If you want to play GAA, you have to make the South Kerry team, like South Kerry.
Whereas with mothers and others, the point that you made, and I think it's a great point, is the daughters will see their mums and their aunts and their mum's friends playing, and even if it's a blitz and they're having the crack and they're laughing and they're not, they're like, a woman's body is a woman's body, but they're just they've got the headbands to keep the hair out of the face, they've got the sports bras on, they're doing it the way it needs to be done for a woman, and I think it's great, and I actually do think it's great, and I think the gap, to answer your question, is definitely closing, because Mag Fitz kept me off the under 14 Ballyclaw team. I still haven't fucking forgiven her. Do you know what I mean? I was just glad that when it came to under 16, she fucked off. I got my fucking place back under 16s.
And you didn't exactly grow much, like.
And I didn't grow. I actually shrank a small bit.
Oh, bless.
But you scored 3 points from play, and you came home then last night, and the quads were a bit sore.
The quads are sore now, yeah.
Yeah. Give it a little bit of a massage there for you.
Quads are sore. But it's all right. It's all right. It's only stiff. It's nice stiff.
Nice and stiff.
Oh, stop it with you.
Right. Okay. So that was a big fucking meandering conversation there.
Yeah.
We were we're actually supposed to get into the trending topics, which we'll do very quickly today. So trending topics with Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan. So I was looking online there before the podcast because, and I said this to you as well, I'm sick to death of the fucking negativity on this planet.
I know. The world is in shit.
It's in shit. And it's affecting everybody. Everybody's mental health is up in the air because of it. I don't care. You know, you mightn't think that the war in Iran now and Israel and Palestine and all that kind of is affecting you. I think it is. It's affecting everybody. And not just that, then the fucking Ireland is a shit show. The world is a shit show.
Yeah.
Like fucking the price of stuff has gone through the roof. And I was like, trending topics. Every time I go on to trending topics, it's just war, inflation, this, that and the other. And I was like, fuck that. I don't want to be talking about negative stuff. So I looked online for some positive stories.
Okay, all right, okay.
All right. And I was looking for a while. It actually took me ages to find stuff, right? So I found this thing, #over30s evening club.
Oh, is that the I saw that on telly. Is that the nightclub in Cork?
In Cypress Avenue, yeah.
Oh yeah. Class. What time is it out from?
So I think it's on it. So basically, right, they're opening, I think they're only trialing at the start of all, right? So they're going to trial a disco for adults, right? But parents, actually. Starts at 6:30 and it's over at 10 o'clock. Imagine going into a nightclub at 6:30. And it's trying to recreate the nightclub era of the 90s and, the 90s, the early 90s, the late 80s. And I think it's a great idea.
Oh, I'd say it'd be a great laugh.
I think it's a great idea.
Oh, yeah. Like, because I was thinking there now, like, you don't get to go out. Like, we don't get to go out and dance. And the only way you'd go out and have a bot, a dance, would be if you were out for hours, that you were pasted and that you were really out, went out for dinner and then ended up, like, when last were we in a nightclub? Like,
when was the last time you and I were in a nightclub? I don't know. Did we ever go to a nightclub?
We went to Chasers once or twice. And we went in Cork a few times when you hated it.
Oh,
I drag you to.
Oh my God!
I drag you to. I was going to say the Bailey, but I dragged you to the Bailey as well. But
you dragged me in one of the early days.
When I had a bit of a hold of you, I dragged you to Reardon's. All right, in my life, I dragged you into my pub life for the wash.
Early on when we were going out, you'd come to a few comedy gigs, and you were like, "Do you want to come out with my crowd?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do." But in my mind, I was like, "No." I don't want to meet anybody that because I'm like a recluse. But obviously, I fought past that.
Put a brave
face on it, and I was like, absolutely, I want to meet all your friends. Oh my God, yes, let's do it. Where do you want to go? And we went to the Wash, which is a pub in Cork City on Washington Street. Hey, the Washington Bar, which is across the way from Reardon's. Now I would have drank in the Wash a good bit coming up with my lads, and we would have gone across to Reardon's. So I was fairly au fait with Reardon's, but anytime I went out with the lads, I never really wanted to go to Reardon's. It is a pure country pub.
But you also were with your crew. You were coming out down with my crew of lads and girls.
Oh yeah, anytime I went to Reardon's or the Wash, I went with the Ballyclaw boys, and it was a kind of it was great now.
A session.
It was a session, but it was like, I would never go there unless I was going with those lads. I would like to try and go to fucking, more. I was more kind of a grungy pub type of a guy, But anyway, I remember you took me there and you were meeting lads from South Kerry, and you were drinking and I wasn't drinking. Do you remember this night? This is early on.
Oh, right? This is the very early one.
Very early on. And I was inside in the Wash, and we weren't even going out with each other. We were kind of
just dating.
And I remember being inside in the Wash. And you were like, sure, just have one drink if you want to. And I was like, I actually can't. It was in Reardon's, actually. You were like, sure, do you want to have one drink? And I was like, no, I won't. I better not now. I'm driving. And then you said, sure, you can stay in mine if you want to. So I got on the sauce. And then you were like,
nothing will happen.
Nothing will happen. You can stay in my house. Nothing will happen. swim from the ankles or some shit. What was
Might
that?
swim from the ankles.
You
Yeah.
might swim from the ankles,
Afraid
and then
of
you're
getting pregnant.
and you were like spooning leads to forking,
Yeah.
and went back to your house that night. I remember when you said you could stay in my house. Within maybe by the time house came out of your mouth, I did double vodka and Red Bull in my hand.
Yeah.
And went back to your house that night, and I slept in all of my clothes. So that I wouldn't try anything, because I really liked you and I didn't want.
And then the next day I was like to the girls, "You never even fucking tried anything."
Because you told me not to try anything. Because I wanted to try stuff, but like no.
And the sweat
Oh my God!
pouring out
and
you.
holding in the farts.
Oh.
The farts that I held inside in your box room, inside in your, and the sweat pumping out of me. And we had a bit of shifting now, and maybe a bit of dry humping or whatever. I don't know.
No, there was just shifting.
Was it just shifting? I can't really remember anymore because it was well oiled. But I remember getting up the next day, leaving your house, and leaving out a rat-a-tat-tat of about 40 farts as I
Walked back to the car.
Walked back to and I remember getting a breakfast roll and being so proud of myself that I didn't try on,
Yeah.
because I was like, I really liked you and I didn't want, if you, like, no means no, obviously, like, but like little did I know that your no meant try it anyway. You could try anyway.
You could do it a little bit, like.
But
so that's what you're trying to recreate. That was it. But except this time you'll be farting fucking nearly in my face.
We'd be farting in the taxi on the way up. But do you think we'll go?
I think we should go. Let's check out the dates that it's on, and we'll make a plan to go.
Who would we bring? We'd have to bring 2 other people with us.
Would we not just go ourselves, so?
If we had a couple to fucking have a bit of crack with, I think it would be fun. We could go ourselves now. I'd happily go by ourselves as well. But I think if we had an old
we have
fun
to see
loving,
it'll have to be on a Sunday night, I suppose.
Well, it does.
Oh no!
This is the whole thing. It's on for because we have kids, so that we can come home early.
No! But you'll be working.
Oh yeah, but I'm not work. If it's on during the summer, I might have a few Saturdays after in the summer. Yeah, but yeah, so that's what's happening. So that's a bit of good news. They're trying to, bring back a bit of joy into the world with nightclubs. What are your experience of nightclubs in the 90s? Were you in nightclubs in the 90s, or was it the noughties?
Noughties. Yeah. So I didn't have the slow dance or anything like that.
You didn't have the slow set?
No, not really. Maybe at the very start, like when I was
the
like
erection section. That's
maybe
what we used
when
to
I was like 17, thereabouts, 18.
Oh.
But I didn't drink till I was 18.
Didn't you?
17 and a half.
Fair. Oh, Jesus. I'm going to get onto the guards after this. She had a drink at 17 and a half. Your Honour.
Yeah.
Your
But
Honour.
there was lots of underage drinking.
Yeah.
But I wasn't that into it.
I remember when I I always looked young growing up, so it was really hard for me to get into nightclubs. But I had like a fake ID from the Institute of Dublin Technology. It was so bad. It was written in biro and everything. Like.
Oh Jesus!
But back then, like there was
probably biro anyway.
There was a bit of biro in some of the IDs, like and I remember. Fuck,
just
you remember
thinking
those,
about the ID card, any cards that had to get no card now.
With writing.
There was
bio on it, like, and date of birth and fucking.
Like the date of birth part might have been printed. Might have been printed.
And then written in biro.
Yeah, you write the details in and probably stick in a photo now.
There was a fella in my school who used to make fake IDs and used to sell them for £1. And I bought, like, I suppose you get what you pay for. But my fake ID got me into pretty much everywhere. It even fooled the guards one time. I remember.
No way.
Do you remember Steve Collins and Eubank? Do you remember those fights?
Oh, yeah.
So I was about 16, 17 when those fights were on. And we went to a pub in Mallow. There was 2 or 3 of these fights. Mm-hmm. And I remember all the lads from school, from Coleman's, got a bus over. We went to Mallow. We all went out to watch this fight. And then we all went to a nightclub afterwards down at Milroy's. It's closed now. But I couldn't drink. But that was the thing, is you had to kind of pretend that you were good at drinking to impress your friends. But I remember I had 3 pints and the fight was on, and my head was spinning. My head was fucking spinning. And it was at the time now when pubs were in their peak, and it was packed and smoking all around the place and ashtrays everywhere. And the fight was in the 2nd or 3rd round, and I remember I knew, I don't know if this was, I'd say you could be a bit like this. I knew when I had to get sick.
Yes.
And I would just do an Irish goodbye and just walk out.
Yeah,
Find a fucking place to get sick,
I do the same.
and go back into the sesh again.
It's a tactical spew.
A tactical spew. And I went outside, went down the muddy hill, did my puke, came back around to the front of Fitz's, and I still wasn't right, so I just said I'd have a sit down on the ground outside the front door, thinking this was a norm. I was only 16. And then that sit down ended up into a slump. Oh. And the slump ended up into a full-on sleep.
Oh, jeez.
And the next thing, 2 guards. And I was 16 at the time, and they were like, "Are you all right?" And I was like, "I am." And I don't know what happened anyway, but I just sobered up. And
right.
I was like, "I am, guard, yeah, I am." He goes, "Are you okay? How old are you?" And I said, I'm 18, guard. "All right, okay. And where are you drinking?" I'm drinking inside there. I said I might have had a bad pint. Do you know the way you'd be like pretending to be a season? I think I had a bad pint, guard. And he goes, "Show me your ID." And I gave him my ID now, and it was like, if you saw it now, like it was so bad. I almost a picture drawn in of myself, like
stick man.
And he looked at it and he was like, "All right, okay. You're in Dublin, you are?" And I was like, "I am, yeah. All right, okay, look after yourself." And they walked away down the street. I was like, wow, this is a great country.
Yeah. Well, they probably just saw that you were all right enough.
Yeah, I went back in anyway and fucking drank the shit out of it. Another pint.
That's like the time the guards, when we were living on the loch, and we had a house party, and I went out to have a fag, and I ended up going across the road, sitting on a bench, having a complete, this is the life. You know, shoes were off, obviously. It's a house party in our own place. Contemplating just living my best life, drink in hand. Then the guards pulled up.
Who's this homeless girl?
Are you all right?
Smoking fags on the bench. Smoking fags on the bench. That's what it looks like.
Pretty much. Yeah. And I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm grand. I'm just having a party here across the road there." And I said, they looked across and went, "Oh Jesus." But I remember that. It was my interaction with the guards drunk. Really, that's the only.
Time is flying. Time is flying on this podcast. We have 2 more trending topics things to do. So we'll just go through them quickly.
Yeah, because I must bring mother to the opticians.
Oh.
I've a pat warrant everywhere.
Anne was on the podcast there. She's on the Patreon podcast as well this week. Tune into the Patreon if you want to catch extra episodes. We bring out an extra episode every week. It's a $5 a month, and there's a backlog of a load of episodes there. So you pay a $5 and you get over 100 episodes, I think.
Boom.
Close to that. But hashtag Ryanair bag.
Oh.
So this is an effort again now to try and look for some positivity.
Okay.
All right. Ryanair bag.
What's the story?
So Ryanair doesn't fill a lot of people. What the fuck is going on with my lead here now? You're standing.
With your lad. Oh, sorry.
With my lad. Are you standing on my lead?
No.
Or is it stuck underneath here? It's grand. Ryanair wouldn't be, usually the bringer of good news, but I don't actually mind Ryanair. Like when people give out about Ryanair, it's
they're a low budget airline.
Yeah. So if you buy something low budget, you don't expect it to have to be high quality.
Yeah,
but it still will have to do a job, which is get you from A to B.
And that's when the problem lies, is when it doesn't do that, or
if it's delayed or
delayed
whatnot.
by hours and hours, and you still pay money. Flights are still flights.
And what I like about them is they're unashamedly, that's how they promote themselves. They're like, "Look, listen, we're fucking low budget, so fuck off."
Yeah.
That's what they pretty much say. Like, "You come with us if you want to, we'll get you there." And but there'll be no care.
So this is about, I'm going to bring you back anyway though, this is about a bag, is it, that can be used on Ryanair?
So they're low budget, so they charge for everything.
Yes,
they charge,
yeah.
The chief executive, his name is Michael O'Leary, he was talking there recently about taking 6 seats out at the back of all their airplanes and putting in rails. And he said you could get people to stand then for the flights. And by taking out those 6 seats, you could get in something like, I think it was 12 or 14 people. But they'd have to stand.
Oh, Jesus.
And everyone was like, "This is ridiculous. This is fucking cattle herding." And he was like, "People will pay because it'll be cheaper."
Yeah.
And I was like, they will.
Pay for an hour, like
I
if
could
the
see-
London flight, like.
Think of this, right? Okay, so if you were an 18-year-old, right, and you want to go and visit your fucking friend who's in first year in college over in in London, and you've got 2 prices, one for a seat for €70 or stand for €9.
Yeah.
you'll be like, okay, I'm going to stand
Yeah.
an 18. Do you
But
know?
you're even on the train now. You're not guaranteed a seat. Like,
Even if you fucking put your name over the
well,
thing.
usually if you put your name over it, you could, unless you come up against someone very tough, which you can obviously.
Yeah.
But your seat is your seat. But sometimes you don't. You're too late, or if you book at the station, you don't get to do that.
Mm.
So you end up like.
What would you do if you were on a train and you'd booked tickets and it was just you and me and not the boys now, just you and me, and you walked up and there was people there and they wouldn't give you the seats back? What would you do? What's the call of action there like?
You can't really do much about it.
But if you just said, look, there are my seats there, that's my name, here's my ID, look, that's my name there, you're sitting on my seats, I booked these seats.
They'd want to be fairly, I suppose they'd want to be fairly tough.
Yeah.
To be withstanding when you're showing them. If you're any bit, like, there's not the class of people, but there's the type of person that if they saw somebody sitting on their seats, they'd barely say, sorry, you're sitting on my seats.
Yeah.
So that's the first level. You're going, sorry, you're actually sitting on my seats.
Yeah.
And you do that really nicely. And then if they go, oh, do you have to, oh, right, oh, Sheenie, do we have to get up? Yeah, sorry, I'd say you'll have to.
Yeah, I booked these online.
Yeah, that's the next, like, you're going, yeah, you do. Yeah, they're my seats.
And then if they say, I'm not getting up.
And I think if they said, I'm not getting up, why am I getting up? I paid for tickets too. I said, well, actually, I booked these online. And by booking online, they're actually my seats. So you're going to have to get up and think. That's probably as far as I'd go.
Yeah.
Because
would you go to a conductor? I think I'd go to a conductor.
But you see, you can't find the conductor. I would potentially look for other seats, and if I didn't get them,
yeah, that's what I do.
Then I'd be like to the conductor when he's coming. If I was in the carriage, like the middle thing, no carriage, no seat, waiting, I'd say, look, there's people up there that won't get up.
I was in a situation not that long ago on trains, right, where I'm not going to say who I was with now, but I was with a few people, I suppose, right?
Yes, yeah.
And we were going to a match, and
now, if they were elderly, I would just leave them. First off,
we were sitting in seats, and next thing, this family came in, and they were like, "We've booked these seats here," and I was like, "Yeah, no bother." I got up to go, but there was someone in our company who was, I actually fucking was so embarrassed.
Right? Yeah.
He was so rude to the people.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and then and he was like, "Fuck's sake, Jesus Christ!" And he was in our company, like. And I wanted the ground to open up and swallow me. But then the other three of us got up, no problem, right?
Yeah.
And then we literally what you said, we were looking for more. There were seats directly across the way from them. So we had to sit in those seats directly across the way from them and be in their company almost.
Yeah,
even though the fella who was in my party had been an absolute cunt, excuse my language, to them, like, you know.
And did you say anything to that fella?
I did.
And what did you say?
I tried to pretend that he was half messing or that it was, you know, but it wasn't the case. And I've said it. I've actually said it to him since as well. That's just no need for that. But my point was, when they came in, they saw that those seats were free as well. They could have hopped into those seats.
Yeah.
But then again, I suppose because there was no names over those seats.
Yeah.
You know. But anyway, Ryanair, the bag, there's a bag for sale on Amazon that fits directly underneath the seat of Ryanair.
Oh, underneath the seat?
It's €12 and you don't have to pay for extra baggage.
Oh, right.
It fits perfectly.
So that's baggage is like 30 or 40 euro to add a bag, I think.
Yeah.
And that's to add if you wanted to bring a bigger carry-on onto the plane. Like it's another, I think it's more again, if you want to put under like a big bag, 20 kg or whatever, it's more again. So, let's look at that.
€12.
Well, I'd look at that for Paris. Even though I did buy, where were those Puma bags? I hate. Do you like hand luggage only?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate bringing luggage. I think if we were going to when we're going to Paris for your birthday, I would love if we both bought one bag each.
We did that for summer. Where did we go that we only had the hand luggage?
Because we don't need much.
Barcelona. Where are those small bags, Con? I don't know where they are. We specifically bought. But
we're going for 3 days, so I'll need 6 underpants, 6 pairs of socks, 6 t-shirts, 6 t-shirts, 2 pairs of pants.
Yeah, but that's a lot.
And
like.
a pair. One second now. 2 pairs of pants,
No,
3
it's the
t-shirts.
makeup
jocks.
bag that annoys me though. It's the wash bag, the no shampoos.
You can't bring that
and-
onto the plane now,
No,
is it?
you
Oh, yeah.
see, you've all that side of the house.
Well, we
and-
might bring 1 bag and 1 carry-on bag, so.
No, we won't because you book them together or else. But no, I think we'll do hand luggage. We will be doing hand luggage, but I might get the travel size things.
I can't remember who we're flying with. Hopefully it is not.
Ryanair.
Is it? Okay, great. Last one, hashtag Stanley Cup.
Stanley Cup.
I'm looking for something positive. I saw Stanley Cup. I was like, someone's after winning the Stanley Cup.
No, isn't the Stanley Cup is the travel mug. Glorified. That's what it is. A drink bottle, like.
No, it's a cup. It's a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, drink cup, like.
No, it's competition. Isn't it?
No, the Stanley Cup, like a coffee mug. They have coffee cups and they have water bottles, like. It's a big. It's a no, it's not a competition. No, it's a drink bottle is what it is. And they're like 60, 70 quid.
60 quid for a bottle but it's also a cup for a competition, I'm sure. There's a cup out there for 60 quid.
Yeah, like a drinking bottle that are useless. Well, they're not useless, but if it falls over, it spills out. Like it's not ideal.
All right, okay, Jesus.
And like, but the thing is,
what's so good about a cup that it's €60?
well, I bet you. Well, I think it keeps the drink nice and cold, but like I'd say it got big on Instagram and it's influencers and that kind. It's the cup to have.
Is it?
But like I'd see on TikTok now that it's huge in America and like people could have 10 different Stanley Cups, like, and you're like, the whole idea of a Stanley Cup is sustainability. So you don't buy, there's a new type of Stanley Cup, and people are going out to buy the new Stanley Cup. But then again, do you see, there's part of me that
fucking coughing. I'm trying to give up the fucking smoke. I nearly had a J this morning, but I didn't have one.
But like, there's part of me then that like the coffee cup. Like, I like a good coffee cup.
I don't mind. See, okay, so this is a cup that keeps water cold. Is it? Is it a coffee cup?
I think they do all sorts, but it's the watered one that's become big.
For 60 quid, I'd want the cup to have a plate, a knife, a fork, a spoon. It would want to keep my drink cold and hot if I wanted it hot, and medium if I wanted it medium.
Yeah, I don't know. I
And a
don't
little
think it
section
does
for
the
minerals. Like, it's a very expensive for a cup.
But then so a water bottle is usually around a tenner.
Yeah.
A stainless steel water bottle.
I have a good one that I take to the gym all the time.
Yeah.
Bring it into the sauna and everything.
10 to 15 euro, thereabouts.
And
then but the Stanleys then are like the Instagram. You know, the be all and end all. But then you got a free Yeti, which is kind of a knockoff of the Stanley. It's another brand. Remember, you got them somewhere
at a gig.
At a gig.
Yeah.
And I do love that one. It fits. It's a nice size. It's a nice hold.
It's the right amount of coffee as well.
Right amount of coffee. It's perfect. It's
and
not
it fits into little cup holders in your car.
And ours is a really weird size cup holder, so that's why. But then I don't know. Like there's differences, but when you put a brand on it, it's because that brand adds an extra value. Like sometimes, and in this world, I think with Instagram, with TikTok, with everything, something being a good brand doesn't mean it's a good product anymore. Before, a brand really meant something, but it wasn't, because it had developed.
People can be brands now. I'm building my own brand. What's the name of your brand? Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan.
But like before, the quality of a product made a brand. Now it's who wears the brand and who holds that cup and who.
Because I think years ago there weren't that many brands, whereas now, like, look at shoes, for example, right? You had Nike, you had Adidas, you probably had Puma. But now there's so many brands of shoes out there. It's a very good point. Just because it's a brand, it doesn't mean the quality is good. But there are some, I suppose, brand awareness. I suppose there are some brands out there that are notorious for being of very high quality.
Oh yeah. But it's more. It definitely is a case of if somebody starts wearing a particular shoe, or
I don't get
the
any
influencers. Yeah. It's the influence of influencers has changed the marketing dynamic of the world. Like, do you
I'd
know?
like to say that I'm not influenced at all, right? But I am, because I have a whoop, right?
Yeah.
And the only reason I have a whoop is because I listen to a podcast called The Diary of a CEO, and they're
Sponsored
by Whoop,
Yeah.
and there'll be a little ad every week in it.
Can you imagine how much now? I know you really like that podcast, but like they do say that a lot of the information on that podcast is sponsored, and there's a lot of weight behind. Like there's a huge weight behind what it's said, because people really value what's been said on it. But then there is a lot of money being exchanged for somebody to get on and speak on that podcast and all of that. Like.
Well, I'd say all the guests are paid. But that's on the very big podcasts anyway. Any guest that comes onto a podcast generally are paid, right? But I listened to an episode there coming back from the Kingdom Comedy Club, started the other day. On Tuesday night I did my solo show down there, and it was great. And on the way back I listened to an episode with the comedian, what's his name? He does the one-liners. Oh my God. And I fucking listened. It was a brilliant podcast. His name's just gone out of my head now. And it was his second time on the podcast, and he was just talking about his process and comedy and stuff like that. Where you're talking about is because there's a lot of that podcast has a lot of sponsors, right? Huel is one of them, which is a kind of an organic refueling supplement.
Yes.
Whoop is another one, and they do get people from that. We'll say like Whoop is one of their sponsors, so they got someone in from Whoop.
Yes, yeah.
And they were talking about the benefits of Whoop.
Yes.
How it can track your sleep, how it can track your recovery.
Like that's an hour-long ad.
It is an
Listen
hour,
to the hour-long
but
ad,
it is an hour-long ad. But I suppose, and I'm not disagreeing with you. It is an hour-long ad, but it's also a very interesting hour on a topic that I was specifically interested in.
I know.
And also that podcast is there is the Diary of a CEO. So they're talking about what Stephen Bartlett was talking about, how he uses it, how the benefits that he finds from it, how it's integrated into his life and his world. And I was looking at that, and I was like, because I was saying that I don't think I'm influenced, but I was like, I could see how that could be a benefit in my life.
Yeah, I just feel that like they've conflicting they're like non-biased. It's not non-biased if you're talking to somebody from your, it's not like a real product review.
Who's non-biased these days?
I suppose, yeah.
Who is non-biased? Like, who's coming in and sitting on the fence and going, that's interesting. That's an interesting point too. Here's my non-biased opinion. Everyone is influenced. Everyone is influenced in some way or shape or form. But I do know what you're saying.
Go, him interviewing your man from Whoop is not going to go, oh, well, I heard that the battery is shit on it.
Yeah.
Like,
He's not going to say that.
Yeah.
But also the battery isn't shit on it, and you actually charge the battery up yourself at home, so it's up to yourself to charge it. But also they're sponsoring it. It's a health and wellness wearable device, and they're sponsoring. And part of the sponsor was that they'd come on and talk about their thing. Whether you're into it or not is another story. But that podcast isn't. I saw where people were complaining about, all he talks about is his sponsors. There are about 4 episodes or 5 episodes or maybe even 6 episodes where he brings in his sponsors to talk about what they are actually doing. But I find that very interesting, because that's where my space is at the moment. It's health and wellness. I'm trying to lose. I'm trying to get fit. I'm trying to sleep better. And like that's.
But I just feel because he has such a huge influence, like people really respect what he says, or that podcast. People hold that podcast in very high esteem.
He does get just to push back, like he gets guests from all over the world that are not even, that aren't sponsors on his guests.
Yes,
what's the name of that fucking comedian? I was listening to it, I was like, wow, and it was a great podcast. I don't know how we even got onto this, but
the Stanley Cup.
Oh yeah, Stanley Cup. No, I was saying that I didn't think that influencers. I was saying to you that I don't think if I saw someone drinking a Stanley Cup that I'd be like, oh, I must get a Stanley Cup. But I am influenced. Everybody's influenceable.
Sure, I told you
influenceable. Influenceable.
Sounds right. The Jameson and ginger ale.
Jameson and ginger ale.
Oh, that does actually. Mother was going to have a Jameson
with a slice of lime.
And I was like, that's totally. We were in the pub during the week, or on Sunday, and there was a picture of it. I had no I wasn't even drinking that day. I never commented on it to Connie or to Mother that does not look lovely, nothing like that. But subsequently, I was like, that would be nice. But I'm very easily influenced.
You are.
But it's reducing, definitely.
It is reducing. It is. But you are extremely influenceable.
Oh, you always say the bars of chocolate. Like I'm a marketing dream.
Marketing's dream. If Cadbury's came out with a chocolate now today, a new bar, and it was grass and peanut flavoured chocolate, and they had a fancy wrapper on it, and they put
it up by the till.
They put it up by the till, and they had a little marketing campaign for 3 months to go try our new grass and peanut flavoured chocolate. Everyone says it's strange. I wouldn't go fucking near it. I'd be like, fuck off. I'm having my golden crisp.
My God.
I'm having my golden crisp.
Then I even get that confused and get you the mint one.
And then I get a mint crisp, which I don't like either. Or I might even have a whole nut. Who knows? I might go all out and have a fruit nut. But I'm not having the fucking grass and peanut thing. This woman would have, the day it was launched, she'd be, all right, it's not too bad. It's very grassy. Very grassy. Like, you are very influenceable.
I would definitely with chocolate and the new bar. Oh, new out.
Or back in the day when we used to eat McDonald's before.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like before they became genocidal maniacs. If they'd always bring out a new burger or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, it's summer is here. Try our new Big Mac. It's got an extra patty and fucking 20% less lettuce. You'd be like, oh yeah,
I'll try the new one there. The new one. Yeah.
Whereas I'd be like, give me a Big Mac down.
Yeah.
But it's gas though. It is interesting. But I always kind of prided myself on, no cunt is going to fucking influence me to get something. But here I am, like with this. Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
With the whoop.
I think you are influenceable for that, for your health and wellness now. I think like your supplements and things like that. Yeah. That's
what gets me. Like, even when we were buying runners now, I wanted to get a good pair of runners because I knew I was going to be training. I wanted to get the whoop because I knew this year was going to be the year that I got my fitness back. So like even during pandemic, I was taking lion's mane and I'm taking supplements for my gut there now at the moment as well. Algae, some sort of an algae, sea moss it's called actually.
Oh yeah,
sea moss. It's good for your belly. Jesus Christ, we're rattling on here, lads. I'd say we'll fuck off a little.
I'd say we need to go because I need to bring Mother. I'd say Mother's probably outside the door waiting.
Listen, lads,
handbag in hand.
Thanks for listening to this week.
Thank you very much, everybody.
We love ye. Bye. It's all staying by the wall as well. Staying by the wall.